We're now going to look at placing fields in tables. This is a slightly more advanced method of putting fields into tables, and what we're going to do, we're going to utilize the X and Y coordinates of the objects and place it into this setting out table here. So as you can see, we have objects which are door planters left and right, door planter there, door planter there. We have our door columns left and right, door column left, door column right. Now I've based the left and right as if you were approaching the house from the front. So if you were here and walking to the right towards the doors, that's left, that's right. So be aware of that when you practice this exercise on your own. Now we've got our table already set up using our known table style, so I'm going to go into the X coordinate cell here of the door planter on the left. I double click in the cell and you'll notice my text editor appears on the ribbon. I go to the field icon on the insert panel, and in the list of categories here I select objects. I then select object here in the field name list, and using this icon here, select object, I can go into the drawing and actually pick the object that I want to work with. Now it is the left hand door planter, this one here. So I pick on it, it tells me it's an AutoCAD block. So I've got the option there of block unit, colour and so on. Now what I'm looking at here is information, and what I need to know is information of where that block is inserted. Now you'll notice there that there is no block insert property here, but there is a position property, and that's what we're looking for, the position of our planter. So when you insert a block and you use fields, you look for position, not something like center or coordinates. Now you'll notice here we've got our format here, our preview. And we only need the X value, so notice I've got the choice of X, Y, or Z. I can add all three coordinates. I only want the X value at the moment, so the list separator there is null and void. I'm going to go to additional format there, and notice I can convert the units if I need to. In this case I don't want to. I need to know the exact coordinates in millimeters of where they are. Now I don't need 8 decimal places though. So what I could do there is I could do a conversion factor, but I'm not going to. What I can do there is just cancel that, and what I can do here is go decimal, like so, and change it to current precision, no, and I set it to no decimal places instead. So it's at 7779 in the preview at the top there. So when I OK that, it puts 7779. Justification, I'm going to change that to middle center, like so. I then press enter. I want the X coordinate now of the door planter on the right. So that's this one down here. So again, I go to field, object, select object, and I select this planter here. And again, I go for position, precision, no decimal places. It remembers everything, but I still need the X value, remember, not the Y value. Now I OK that there, and it adds it to the table. Now you'll notice the table seems to have disappeared. Don't worry about that. When you close the text editor, it will come back. It is a quirk of AutoCAD 2010. It's basically, I think, a graphics card issue. So don't worry too much about it. As long as you close the text editor, it will come back. I'm just going to click in here and double click now, and you'll see it doesn't affect the table this time, but I changed the justification again to middle center. Now let's have a look at some Y coordinates. Let's double click here on the Y coordinate here. It's the same process, so I double click inside the cell, and there's the cursor. Same process again, I go to field, I go to objects and select the object, field name, select object. I select the left hand door planter here. I go to position again. This time I don't want X, I want Y. So I take the X out. Notice I can't switch all of them off at any time. I've got to have a coordinate in there. So I want Y this time. Notice the precision, it remembers it as 0 decimal places there. I OK that, and it adds it in there, and justify wise, I set that to middle center. I press enter now to go to the next cell down. Same process, field, select object. I go here again, select position, and again I want the Y value. I don't want the X value. I OK it. It adds that value to the table. As soon as I close there and close text editor, you'll see that little graphical quirk disappears. So as long as I close the text editor, the table comes back. Again, I double click in here, justification, middle center. So as you can see there, that's with blocks I use position. Now let's just check this door here, the door column to the left. So I double click in this cell here, like so. I go to field. Left hand door column, when I select the object again, is this circle here. So I click on it. This time I do use the center. And I want the X value. So I select X and untick Y. I then OK that, and it puts that in there. I double click in here now. And again, field, select object. It's the left hand column. I select center. I select Y and undo the X, and I OK it. And as you can see, the values there have come in, and I need to just double click in here like so. Justification, middle center. Double click in here like so. Justification, middle center. I'm going to close the text editor now, and there's my table with coordinates in it taken using fields from known objects on the drawing. You can see how quick and easy that was. You can do that with most values for most objects in an AutoCAD drawing.